Good morning, folks. This is Lindsey Huddleston back in the building for another SPS Monday Motivation. Happy to be with you here on this Labor Day. That's right, as a holiday. Some of us are able to sleep in, stay at home, change your work schedule. And if you are able to do that, congratulations. And what is Labor Day? It's the day that we celebrate the social and economic achievements of American workers. Yes, indeed. If it wasn't for Labor Day, we probably still have a 6-day work week, 90 hours, who knows what's going on. But thankful to all those who made the sacrifices and continue to make the sacrifice today. But what a great topic in talking about today's Monday motivation. And that is evaluating your evolution. Evaluating your evolution. This idea, as I always state, my Monday motivations come from the headlines of my personal life. Good morning, Michelle Mimi Watkins. Glad to have you back. Are you recovering from your anniversary trip to Las Vegas, Nevada? Orlando Watkins, your awesome husband, gave us all the news about the trip, and we saw the picture. So happy to have you back. Great to see you this morning. I hope you're enjoying this Labor Day as well. And I'm talking about evaluating your evolution. She said, yes, sir. I know you did. Well deserved, well deserved. Beautiful couple, beautiful people, and I appreciate you. Talking about evaluating your evolution. This probably happened when you guys were kicking it at the Bellagio doing something. I was sitting on the porch with my mom, Patricia England, love her to death, and we were just sitting back and just having a conversation, and it just really helped me put some things in perspective about life and what's going on or whatnot. Beth Hayward, good morning, and happy Labor Day. Thank you for checking in, Beth. I appreciate you on this Monday motivation, talking about the evolution of the evaluation of your evolution. So there's a time-tested visual that tells us about evolution right here. You see the evolution of one man, or humans, I should say, which is really important going forward. I got my brother Aaron Mays this morning. What's up, brother Mays? Man, we got to get on that schedule, man. I'm coming down for King versus Cass on the 16th of September, man. Another SPS road to Final Four. Maybe we'll get together, man, do what we do. Definitely want to get with you. And he was talking about this evolution. So you look at this image, and we've seen this image so many times. And irony for me, as it relates to my growth, particularly with my brand, SPS Sports Psychology Solutions, and whether you're growing a business or just growing in your work, in your job, in a relationship, whatever it may be, look at the evolution. We see the lower man, if you will, almost the ape. And as he gets to being upright and taking on more of a human form, and then taking on something like a weapon or a tool, which shows a sign of great intelligence. And then we see the upright male, and this can also be a female. And it's ironic that we see 5 images. SBS is 5 years old, going on 6. And I look at, when I go back and I try to look at where I am right now and where my growth is, just like anybody, you can't tell me. Sometimes we give ourselves more of a hard time about our growth in a particular scenario, whether it's at your job, through your business and your relationship. And that's why I talk about the way you evaluate this is very important. Let's talk about that for a second. Too often we evaluate and judge our situation from a present tense and not evolution standpoint. We don't look at it from whence we came. We'll look at, this one image of the upright man at the very end, and we evaluate ourselves based on that, but we don't take into account from whence we came. And I know we don't like to look at that. We don't look at the past. We get so caught up in that. And I'll also say with that, sometimes you need to reference where you were a day or a week ago, or not, excuse me, sometimes you need to reference where you were not just a day or a week ago, but maybe a year, 10 years ago. But, we look at that thing as far as what we were doing a week ago, how things were last week, and we make the comparison. I'm not there yet. I want these things to happen, or you're waiting for some things. But then sometimes we have to look at from an evaluation standpoint, and that's defined as making a judgment about the amount, number, or value of something based on a set of standards. And what standards are you using? The present tense standards aren't always the best standards. It can give you a very skewed understanding of where you're at with things. Because when you go and start checking the box as far as what you've done, it's hard to get that outstanding. It's hard to get that excellent, because you got to do so many things within a short amount of time to be able to recognize that. But if you give yourself a more of an evolutionary view of things, I think it can help your approach going forward. And why do I say that? When you talk about evolution, it's defined as the gradual development of something, especially from a simple to a more complex form. What's more simpler to complex than this image right here? ape, if you will, walking on all fours to the upright man or woman that we are today. And you got to think about from whence you came when it comes to those type of things going forward. Personally, I don't believe life to be inherently set up for us to have an overall painful, difficult existence. Sometimes it's so easy for us to get caught in that. If you watch, hell, I looked at the news this morning. I was reading the news and hearing about the tragedies, and it can be overwhelming. Even with social media, you catch one of those algorithms that's promoting negativity and the fights and the toxicity. You can kind of get caught up in that. And it's easy to believe that, whoa, life is just this negative existence. But what I do believe, life to be an ebb and flow of extreme highs and lows. Extreme highs and lows. And my goal with my body of work that I share with you all and the work that I do on a daily basis is to put out a body of work that promotes maintaining a balance between being present in the moment. And I think that's very important. So when we talk about evaluating our evolution, you really have to look and say, from whence did you come? Again, so many times we just focus on right now. That's what this microwave experience is for us. Where are we at right now? Hey, I want to have this idea. It's not happening the way I want. But when I look back on SPS in particular, I kind of look back a few years ago. I remember covering a game at Clarkston High School. It's a night game, and it was just cold, and I wasn't with my daughter that night, obviously. And I remember just being out there, and shout out to my guy, Rod Wilson. Rod was like watching me online because I had a live feed, and, he was showing support and love. And I was saying, what am I doing here? What is going on? What are you doing? And then I reminded myself, I said, Lindsay, you got a vision, man. You got a vision. I said, one day this is going to move and it's going to have much more of an impact than it is right now. Yeah, you may have one follower or two or some person saying something. I remember another game at Belleville. I remember sitting in the end zone and it was just in a bad spot and that cold weather was cutting through. And when it's cold outside, that make you wonder what you're doing with yourself. I say that to say, going back those years ago in my evolutionary state where it was almost the SPS walking on all fours to being at a point right now where I was just down for the SPS game of the week talking about the road to Ford Field, and it was defending state champions De La Salle versus the most winning team in the state of Michigan in football, the Muskegon Big Reds, and to be down there at Lawrence Tech University, a stone's throw from where I grew up at. Matter of fact, at Henry Ford High School, as a high school student, we used to run basketball practice. We would run near that campus. So I was very close to my roots. And to be able to have that experience and speak with the coaches and the players afterwards, and then to go on my social media afterwards and see some of the top coaches in college football. Shout out to my guy, Mel Tucker, and others who can see what I produced and be able to say, hey, this is some good stuff you're doing because it's letting us know about the great football in the state of Michigan. The same would be for basketball. I use this to say we have to evaluate our evolution, not just where we are, but where you have come from. You can't always look at where you were a week ago. Sometimes you got to say, man, where was I at a year ago? And when we do that, that humility comes in. When you look back to from whence you came and those serious trials and tribulations you overcome, not just how you wanted things to be once things got on track, but where you were from a long time ago, who played a role in your success, what you had to go through. And it's those things that make us look at and appreciate from whence we came. And I think that's important because when you do that, you get a better evaluation. It's not this skewed view of how I'm supposed to be this instant success. I'm supposed to have this overnight success. That's not real. That's not true. Whatever it is you're working towards, whether it's developing a worthy relationship, whether it's developing, opportunity at your job that you'll be going to tomorrow or your business, whatever it may be, you have to evaluate your evolution, meaning the entire experience, the entire picture from whence you came. And I think when you do that, it will give you a better understanding, a better reason to be motivated, a better reason to appreciate from whence you came. Because let's be honest, folks, things that come fast go fast in many cases. Things that are not rooted in some deep experiences. And doesn't say that mean that everything has to be a challenge for you. But boy, when you got to put in a little bit of more work, we got to grind a little bit more harder, when you got to do things that take a little bit more time, oh man, those are the things that last. Those are the things that have a major impact. So on this Labor Day, as we all get a break based on the hard work that others have done, I just say evaluate your evolution, evaluate from whence you came, evaluate the things that you've done from a standpoint of the overall picture, not just yesterday, not just a week ago, but sometimes go back and think about where were you a year ago? Where were you 5 years ago and where you are now? And I think it'll give you a better understanding of your success. I think it'll give you a better understanding of what you're capable of doing and just give you a better appreciation so you can enjoy this life that we're blessed to have, ebbs and flows and all. So with that being said, I want to wish you guys a happy Labor Day. I hope you can enjoy. Who barbecuing? I don't know if you guys cleaned the refrigerator out, Michelle, when you guys came back in town. You know, I know the power was out and all that kind of stuff. But boy, if you guys got a barbecue going on, it's going to be a good thing going. Orlando gets on the grill. Great fun times down there. But with that being said, I'm wishing everybody the best. I want you to have a great week, have a great month, have a great year, have a great life. Lindsay Helms with SPS. Thanks so much. I see this last comment coming up. And it's Michelle. She said, every pass has a cause and helps for the future. That's right, Michelle. You always know how to put, a bow on it just right. Every past has a cause and helps for the future. And sometimes we want to forget the past. Sometimes we want to forget the heartache. Sometimes we want to forget the pain. But if you put it all in perspective, you can see from whence you've came. So with that being said, thank you so much. I want to wish you guys the best on this Monday. Have a great time. Number love. Take care.